In this section, we will be talking about numerical descriptive statistics. When summarizing or describing a numerical variable, the organizing and visualizing the method are just only the starting point. We need to describe such variables in the terms of their central tendency, variation, and shapes. Central tendency is the extent to which the value of a numerical variable group around a typical or central value. The variation measures the amount of dispersion or scattering away from the central value and the values of a numerical variable shown. A shape of a variable is the pattern of the distribution of the values and the lowest values to the highest values. In this section, we will be discussing ways how to compute these numerical descriptive measures. For example, but we will be concentrating on our analyzing the data within the DCOVA framework. This section also will be talking about the covariance and coefficient of correlation, measures that can help show the strength and the association between two numerical variables. Computing the descriptive measures discussed in this section would be one way to help the statistical analysis and giving us the response what we are looking forward for. So when we are talking about central tendency, most set of the data shows a distinct tendency to group around a central value. When people talk about the average value or the middle value or the most frequent value, they are actually talking about informally about mean, median, and mode. These are the three measures of the central tendency. Let's talk about mean. The arithmetic mean of typically referred to as the mean is one of the most common measures of central tendency. The mean can suggest a typical of central value and serves as the balance point in the set of data, similar to the fulcrum of the seesaw. The mean is the only common measure which all the values play an equal role. You compute the mean by adding together all the values in the data set and then dividing the same number by the number of values of the data set. The symbol is what we call is X bar. It is also called as the X bar. So there is a bar over the X. Okay. That is why it is called X bar. Is used to represent the mean of the sample. For a sample containing n values, the equation for the mean of the sample is written as X bar sum of the total values divided by number of total values. So using the series x1, x2, x to the xn, that is n numbers of different data, to represent the data set of n variables and n to represent the number of values, the equation becomes x bar, that is the mean of the sample, x1 plus x2 up to xn divided by n. This is basically what we call as the sample mean. Okay. So the sample mean is the sum of the values in the sample divided by the number of values in the sample. Because all the values play an equal role in mean, it is a mean is greatly affected by the value that is very different from the others. When you have such an extreme values, you should avoid using the mean as a measure of central tendency. For example, if you knew that the typical time to get ready in the morning, okay, for example, we are just taking an example here. Okay, so if your typical time to get ready in the morning, you might be able to arrive at your first destination every day in the morning. So you start up and then you actually come to office or join office, okay, or join your college or join your institute every day in a more timely manner. Using the DCOVA framework, you first define the time to get ready for the time as the time from when you get from the bed, and so that when you can leave the home, rounded to the nearest minutes. Okay, So basically it's the so if it is 39 minutes some seconds, it's rounded to 39 minutes. Using the collected data, you compute the mean to discover the typical time it is taken for you to get ready. This data, is just a random data that has been placed here. So 10 days has been recorded, and out of that 10 days, different times has been recorded. Now to calculate for using our formula, okay, these are all the references that you can gather from. Okay. So you have got the equations, NDS1, NDS basically numerical descriptive statistics 1, NDS1, so that you can relate while you keep on practicing by yourself. Okay. So we add all the sum of all the time taken by the number of portions. So number of days that the sample number is 10, and the total is calculated, and then we getting 39.6. Even though no day is in the sample had the value of 39.6, allocating this amount of time to get ready in the morning would be reasonable to make the decision. The mean is a good measure of central tendency in this case because the data set does not contain any exceptional values. For example, if we change any of the day, say to from 39 to 103, okay, so converting 43 into 103, or converting 44 into 104, or converting 39 into 109, okay, the value of it will be skewed. Okay, so if we convert 43 into 103, the mean will be coming as 45.6. Okay, now 45.6 is, you see that the total data that we are having is more than the mean, that is the more than the extreme points. Okay, now that is important, that when the one extreme values are increased by the mean of 6 minutes, the extreme values also move from position from the mean relative to all values. The original mean, that is 39.6 minutes, had at the middle or the central tendency position among the data variable. Okay, so 5 times were less than the mean, and 5 were greater than the mean. In contrast, if we increased the value of 43 to 103 because of some day it was actually taken long time, okay, now the mean actually was not giving the right position, because if it will be 45, and we know that only one data, that is 52 is there, only 52 is there, that is more than 45, 45.6. So it will be 9 on one side and 1 on one side, so that is not giving us the right place of the position. Then next measures of central tendency is the median. Median is the middle value in the ordered array. Okay, so whatever the data we have, so this data is on this discrete data. Okay, so these data are not arranged in an order. The order will be, say for example, 29 as the smallest one, and 52 as the largest one. Okay, so that is what we call as the ordered array. In ordered array, the array can be either smallest to largest or largest to smallest, but usually we prefer to work on smallest to largest while we are calculating the median. So in that case, half of the values are smaller than the equal to the median, and half of the values are larger than or equal to median. The median is not affected by the extreme values. So you can use the median when extreme values are present. So to compute the median for a set of data, you first rank the values, and then the largest one using the equation n median is n plus 1 divided by 2 ranked values. Okay, now we have got two rules here to compute the median. Okay, the rule 1 is that if the data set contains the odd number of the values, the median is the measurement associated with the middle rank value. If the data set contains on the average even number of values, the median is the measure associated with the average of the two middle ranked values. So for let's see our example that we work for the mean. Okay, now this data has been rearranged or ordered in an array that is smallest to largest. Because the number result of dividing n plus 1 by 2 for this value is 10. So 10 plus 1, n is 10. So 10 plus 1, that is 11, divided by 2, that is coming as 5.5. So this value will be using the rule number 2. Okay, so rule number 2 says that when it is even. Okay, so we know that the our data is evens. We have got 10 data. Okay, then why it is even, then it's why we do that. Okay, so that we can calculate the average. Okay, now the position will be lying between 5 and 6, 5th and 6th. Okay, rank values, that is 39, and we are ranking between 39 and 40. So we'll be calculating the average of this two figure. Okay, that will be coming as 39.5. So the median is 39.5, means that the half of the days time to get ready less than or equal to 39.5, and for the half day the time of the to get ready is greater than or equal to 39.5. In the case of the median, time to get ready of 39.5 is close to the mean to get is 39.6. Okay. But when we are using the extreme, we have got the extreme values, we would suggest that not to use mean as the mode of to calculate the central tendency. Now the next way to calculate the central tendency is the mode. The mode is the value of the set of data that appears most frequently. Like the median and unlike the mean, extreme values do not affect the mode. For a set of data that need to have the several modes or no modes at all. For example, in our sample, that is 29, 31, 35, 39, 39, and 40, 43, 44, and 52, we have got two modes. Okay, so we have got 39 and 44. Okay, so whatever the numbers are maximum, okay, it will be actually the mode will be there. The mode came from the word Italian word that is della mode, that means in fashion. Okay, so in fashion, basically what we say in fashion is that that is repeated the number of times more popular is in fashion. Okay, so similarly when we are working for the measure of central tendency or with the data, that data that comes maximum number of times is basically your mode. There are two modes in this case, that is 39 and 44, because each of these values has occurred twice. While there can be different data where there can be no modes if the numbers are not repeated a number of times. Say for example, if this 39 would be 38 and this 44 will be 45. So now none of the number is repeated twice. Okay, so that is why there will be no mode in this case. Now, next measures for the central tendency is the geometric mean. Okay, geometric mean basically happens as the rate of change. Okay, so when you want to measure the rate of change of a variable over time, you need to use the geometric mean instead of arithmetic mean. Okay. So the geometric mean is the nth root of the product of the values. So the geometric mean rate of measures for the average return of investment per unit time. So this formula of return of investment, okay, that is the geometric mean rate of return, is given by 1 plus R1, okay, 1 plus R2 and up to 1 plus Rn. So to illustrate this measures, let's consider an investment banking of 1 lakh that has declined to a value of 50,000 at the end of year 1, and then rebounded to the its original value of 1 lakh values at the end of the year 2. The rate of return for this investment for the 2 years period is 0 because the starting and the ending investment remains unchanged. However, the arithmetic mean of the first year of the yearly rates of the return, that is started from negative 0.50, okay, to plus 1.0 divided by 2, that is 25%, because the rate of return of year 1 is minus 50% and the rate of return for year 2 is 100%. Okay, using our equation that is defined in NDS 4. Okay. NDS 4. So we have got our mean square rate of return, geometric mean of rate of return is 1 plus R1 into 1 plus R2 to the power 1 by n minus 1. Okay. So we get the 0. That is why we say that the using the geometric mean rate of return gives us the more accurately reflects that there is a zero change in the value of the investment for the 2 period does the than does the arithmetic mean.